Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to another episode of the Trainer Talk. Today, we're going to be talking about not complaining about things you're capable of fixing. So, there's a lot of things in our life that we, maybe don't like, and we just complain about it to other people. And what we need to realize is we shouldn't be complaining about those things if we are capable of fixing them. So, some examples are, if you're not at the ideal weight you want to be at, or maybe you don't have the energy you would like to have, you're not happy with the work that you do, you don't have time for certain things. If you're capable of making adjustments and changes, then you shouldn't be complaining about those. You should be focusing on what do I need to do to actually fix this problem that I have. Another way to look at it is you shouldn't complain about things that are out of your control. So we also have things that we have absolutely no control over that we complain about that causes a lot of stress in our life, and you shouldn't be doing that either. So that's what we want to talk about. We're going to start out by just maybe listing off some things, some common things that people tend to kind of pollute their mind with and complain about that bring them down, maybe hold them from achieving their goals. So we'll list off some things, and then we'll also give you guys some ideas to start implementing things in your life to change those things around.
Yeah, I think people sometimes, what we hear a lot is they tend to complain about things that they're choosing to do as well. Like people complain about working out, or they complain that the workout's hard, or they complain about having to eat healthy, or having to track macros, or having to mark things off on an app, or these different little things that it's like, this is your choice to do this. And you want to do these things to get to your goal, so don't complain about something you're choosing to do. Right? That's your choice. You have power and you have responsibility over your own choices. So you really just got to take ownership and just say, okay, I'm choosing to work out, and because of that, I have control over it, and I shouldn't complain about it, because if I really didn't want to, I wouldn't be here.
So in that situation, it's kind of just about adjusting your mindset and focusing on why you're doing something.
Right.
We complain about the metcons that we have to do all the time. Like, right before it starts, we're like, oh crap, man, we don't want to do this. But then we immediately fix it. Like we can see the bigger picture maybe a lot faster and easier than some people can. We know the benefit of it, and we know that we're going to feel really good afterward. So it might bother us for a second, but if you just focus on the end goal, you could not look forward to something, but don't sit there and complain about it too much, people, because you know why you're there, you know what you're trying to achieve. So try to switch your mindset and turn that off and focus on the bigger picture.
Yeah, I feel like probably the number one complaint, or it's got to be really close to the number one complaint, is not having time to work out, which we have maybe a little bit more time than the average to work out because we work at a gym. So we're already here. We might have a little bit more time than the average person. But there is somebody out there who's busier than you. There is somebody out there who travels for work maybe every single day and is still getting in their workout. There's somebody out there who commutes 2 hours a day who is still getting in their workout. So that complaint that you don't have time is just an excuse, really, what it comes down to, because you can get in a killer workout in 15 minutes. In fact, I got in a killer Metcon yesterday in 7 minutes that literally left me on the floor dying. So saying that you don't have time is not true. You can get a workout in from home if you really need to. And then the other thing is people not having energy to work out, when really you need to work out in order to have energy for the rest of your day. I don't know how many times I've had clients come in. I'm pretty sure 100% of my clients have come in just saying that they're always tired. And they'll tell me the days that they work out with me are the days they feel the most energized. Your body needs to get movement in order to feel energized and to just be able to go on the rest of your day.
I can 100% agree with that, because we work out typically mid-morning. So in the morning I have clients or classes, and then I'll do some desk work and stuff for a few hours, and then usually around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, we'll do my workout, and that usually spikes my energy for the afternoon. I just feel 10 times better throughout the whole day when I work out. And I notice when I don't work out, or even on the active recovery day, if we just do something really light, I don't have as much energy the days that I work out. So I really look forward to the workout days, not just because of the workout and the benefits, but I just feel 10 times better. So yeah, 100% agree with that.
Another thing that people tend to bring up is money. Like, you know, they can't afford certain things, or, you know, oh, that's, you know, it's just outside of my budget. It's like, well, you know, is there a way that you can pick up a couple extra hours at work? You know, obviously some people are on salary and they're not able to do that, but is there somewhere that you can save money by, okay, maybe I'm not going to have 5 different Netflix subscriptions and just go down to 2, and that'll save you $30 a month, and there you go, there's your gym membership, right? You know, maybe cut down on some alcohol purchases, dinners out, different purchases that you really don't need to make, just buying more stuff. I mean, Amazon is the land of plenty right now. You can get something in 1 or 2 days shipping from Amazon. So, you know, trying to cut down on the spending that way can save your money, and then you can put it to things that are actually going to benefit you in the long term.
Yeah, and we just talked about this for a while before this talk. It's all about the value that you put on something. Like, you know, if you are looking to lose 30 pounds and you're not sure what to do, and you come and you talk with a coach and you find out it's going to cost you $300 a month, and you say, oh, that's way too much, I can't afford that. It's because the goal that you have in mind isn't important enough, or you don't value it enough to trade that amount of money. Because a lot of us, you know, the average household spends $200 a month just on eating out, and that's not including like going in. You know, we talked about people get coffee every morning at McDonald's or Starbucks or wherever, and they spend, you know, $2, $3, $4 on coffee every single day. Well, if you do that every working day, you're spending like $70, $80, $90 a month just on coffees, plus $200 a month on going out. Maybe you go to the movies every other week or every month or something, and you spend, you know, $30 on movie tickets and popcorn. Like, all these things add up. So if you're going to start a new journey, if you want to make a change, you have to take a look at the other things that you're doing before you make that decision. You can't, you know, you might not be able to add that expense onto your current expenses, but you need to change them around. That's why you have to actually decide what's more important, what you value more, and then switch it around. So this actually goes into the reasons that people don't fix their problems. So we complain about all these problems that we have. Most of the time they're just excuses, but why don't people actually fix them? And most of the time it's one, people are just too lazy to actually fix it, so they'd rather just complain about it. Or 2, the amount of discomfort that they have from their problem, it doesn't exceed the amount of discomfort that they're going to experience by fixing it. So maybe they don't want to put in all the work, or they don't want to spend the money, or they don't want to put in the time. So they therefore won't do it. They won't fix that problem. They're not going to shoot for that goal of 30 pounds because they don't have the time, they don't have the energy, and they don't have the money. So you need to kind of stop complaining at that point if you're choosing not to shoot for that goal. If you're, you know, too lazy, or if the discomfort isn't high enough, then don't complain about it. Just, you know, find other stuff to focus on. But once that discomfort gets high enough, people will value that goal more than where they're at. And unfortunately, you know, we just talked about this too. A lot of people wait until it's too late before that value is high enough. You know, they wait until they have a heart attack, or they develop diabetes, or they had a stroke, or maybe a really close family member had something similar happen. Then they decide that they want to make that change because that traumatic event put a really high value on their health all of a sudden. Whereas if you just did it ahead of time, you need to understand that your health and your energy is extremely high value, and you need to invest into yourself. Another thing that we talk about is the more you invest into yourself, the better the more likely you are to achieve whatever goal you have. You know, we have hundreds of members that come into the gym, and it's about $30 a month for the gym, but they're really sporadic. They might only come maybe 2 times a month, or even if they come every day, they might not know exactly what routines to do. They might not change their nutrition or their hydration or their sleep. They might have the exact same physique and body composition over a 5-year course of time. Whereas people that invest, you know, $500 a month and coach with us, they might completely change their body composition in life in less than a year because they're extremely emotionally invested. So that's another tactic that is going to help you get over those obstacles in that discomfort is just the rate at which you want to do it. But you need to kind of paint that value on it if you're actually going to fix the problems that you're complaining about.
Yeah, I think another good tool of trying to get yourself to overcome that discomfort is to think about long term. Knowing where you are right now and knowing your habits, thinking, okay, maybe I don't want to start this month and I'll start, next month, or I'll start next year. That's what a lot of people say. Oh, I'll wait till the new year and I'll start my diet and start my exercise program. They're always putting it off. But if you put it into perspective, you're like, okay, do you still want to be where you're at or worse a year from now? Most people will say no, and hopefully. And then, you can kind of back up from there. Like, all right, do I want to be there 6 months from now? Okay, do I want to be there 3 months from now? No, you don't really want to be in that same position because you're already uncomfortable. You're in pain in that position, whether it's physical or mental pain. And by putting it in that perspective, you're like, oh, so I have to take action now and not put it off later. That's one way to kind of get over that initial discomfort of change. And it's going to be hard for the first probably 2 weeks to 4 weeks, but then after that, you kind of get used to it. So even though, the first 2 weeks of cutting out junk food is going to be hard, your body will kind of adapt to your new diet. And we already talked about last week how your taste buds will change in 7 days. So you just have to kind of stick it out, and then those foods will start to taste good to you. They might not taste good now, but knowing that in the long term it's going to be better for you, and you will learn to like those foods after 2 to 4 weeks when your taste buds start to change.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and definitely looking long term, you need to think about your why. And you need to come up with a why that's not I just want to lose weight. You really need to dig deep. Why do you want to lose the weight? What is in it in the long run? Have you had heart issues? Are you pre-diabetic? Do you want to be able to run around with your grandchildren? You really have to think about that why and just let that drive you every single day. And it's just very uncomfortable when you first start. I remember when I first started working out, everything hurt. I wanted to throw up after every workout. I was like, why am I doing this? But I just kept going because something inside me knew the only way to get to where I want to be is to keep going. And eventually you get to that point where workouts are fun, and it is fun living a healthy lifestyle where you're not miserable all the time, and you're not overweight or whatever it is. So you really have to push past those first however many weeks or however many months it takes to get to that point of enjoying it and just really reaping the benefits of it, but it just doesn't come right away.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because there's a method called the 5 whys, where if you just ask yourself why 5 times, you can usually get to the core reason why you want to do something. So for example, somebody could walk in, I want to lose 20 pounds, and then you say, why do you want to lose 20 pounds? I think I'll have more energy if I lose some weight. I'll just be able to move around better. Well, why do you want to have more energy, and why do you want to move around better? I think it'll make my job a lot easier, and if I have more energy, then I'll be able to do more tasks during the day. Why do you want to be able to do more tasks and be able to move around better? Then I can do more with my life, and I can just feel more confident and be able to do the things that I ultimately want to do. So you kind of get down to the root reason, okay? It's not that you want to lose 20 pounds, it's that you want to feel better, you want to feel energized, you want to feel confident about yourself and confident in your own skin. That's really kind of what it's all about. And a lot of people can tie it back to wanting to be able to do more with their kids or grandkids. I know it's a really big reason for my mom. Example, she's gonna be 62 years old, and she works out every day. She teaches a class, and her basically core reason is she wants to be able to pick up and play with her grandkids, my nieces and nephews. That's what's driving her. She wants to be healthy and be able to play with them as long as she possibly can. So finding that core reason of why you want to do something can overcome that problem. And it all comes down, this is all relating back to the complaints that people have. They're complaining about their lack of energy, and they don't like the way that they look and feel, and they just complain about it all the time. You are capable of fixing these things. You just need to find the solution and then put together a plan And that's kind of what we're trying to help you guys with, is coming up with that plan, finding the why, and then just kind of doing the work. Set aside your discomfort and just do the work, because actually we aren't meant to be comfortable. Like, you need to get comfortable being uncomfortable, and that's how you grow and achieve any goal that you want to achieve.
Yeah. One thing that I'd like to add with, like, when it comes to finding out what that why is, what that inner why is, you also need to find out what, like, the root causes or problems that got you to where you are. Like, that got you to the point where you're uncomfortable either in your body, or you have less energy, your health is deteriorating. You have to define what those things led you to where you are now, and then you can determine, okay, this is what I need to fix. Like, obviously what got you to being overweight is by eating unhealthy foods too much and not exercising. And so what you got to do to reverse that? You have to do the inverse. You need to eat healthy, not too much, and exercise. It's pretty simple. I mean, we talk about a lot of simple things. We're just like, it makes sense for us, but we've also been doing this and we've known about it for so long. So part of the reason I think that people may not change their current situation and why it's so uncomfortable is they just don't know where to go. I think that's part of it, but they also don't want to take out the uncomfortable task of trying to learn what they have to do, because there's so much misinformation out there. So I think that's another part of it is, they're basically frozen in this part of, like, I want to change, but I don't know how, and I don't know what to look for. And that's basically why we're here, because we know that it's really hard to change, and it's hard to do it on your own, pretty much.
For sure. I'm glad that you brought up, you said something about that reminded me. It's almost easier to kind of relate or make changes if you ask yourself what not to do, rather than, like, trying to seek out what are all the things that I need to do to get in shape or achieve whatever goal. Ask yourself, what shouldn't I do, or what not to do? What's going to keep me from achieving this goal? Kind of like what you said, like working backwards of what caused the problem in the first place. Like, if you're sitting there saying, I want to get in shape, well, what shouldn't I do? I probably shouldn't go to Dairy Queen every day. Probably shouldn't just sit on the couch and watch movies all day. You probably shouldn't go and buy a bunch of junk food and have it sitting out on the table. Like, that's destroying your environment. So saying I shouldn't do these things or what not to do actually really helps kind of reverse, and it'll help you do the things that you are supposed to do. Because a lot of people complain about, I'm trying to lose weight, but there's cookies all over the place. It's like, well, don't buy cookies. Like, get them out of your house, change your environment. And they're like, my kids want them. Well, you probably shouldn't be feeding your kids that. If you have this problem, they're going to end up having the same problem. And I know it sucks because you don't want to deal with them complaining. They're going to complain that they don't have cookies. But that's a problem that you need to overcome as well. They'll probably only complain for a little while and they're going to forget about it. I remember when I was a kid, I feel like your attention span is like nothing.
Yeah.
You might cry about something for 15 minutes and then you forgot about it the next day. It's like, get rid of every snack in the house. They're going to whine about it for a day or two, but then they're going to forget about it. Put some bananas and apples out instead. Like, those are little things that you can do to fix easy problems. And we talk about this a lot as well. That's what's called developing healthy habits. Filling up a water bottle instead of going to get a coffee or a pop every day. This is a really simple habit. Getting rid of the junk food in your house to solve a problem of eating junk food, and replacing it with some healthier options. Like, those habits are actually what lead you to your goal, rather than just focusing all your attention on 20 pounds. If you just start really small, fixing little problems, you can fix bigger problems as you go.
That's all I have.
I think the biggest thing too is, like, nobody can do it for you. Like, we can help guide you and give you tips and kind of help try to motivate you, but you have to make the decision you want to change. Like, nobody else can make you change. So.
Yeah, and then just make sure you're not complaining about things that are completely out of your control. There's absolutely no point in stressing out, including your mind, about things that you have no control over. You might have no control over your employee or your co-workers coming in and bringing donuts every day for lunch. You have no control over them bringing pizza in, but you do have control over whether or not you make the choice to grab a donut or a piece of pizza. Like, that is something that you're capable of fixing. You can separate yourself from, the room if they're going to do that. So there are things that you have no control over. You might not have necessarily control over your work schedule from 9 to 5, but guess what? You could wake up earlier, or you could make time at night. For a lot of people, we preach this a lot. Getting up earlier is definitely a solution to a lot of problems. A lot of people stay up a little bit too late, maybe watching their favorite show. They get to bed late, they can't fall asleep, they wake up hitting snooze, snooze, snooze. All of a sudden they're in a hurry, they don't make breakfast, they don't pack their gym bag, and then they're heading out to work, they're already stressed out, and they have no time after work to go to the gym. So you just destroyed like 3 or 4 opportunities for changing your life around and achieving the goal that you want to achieve. And then those are the same people that say, I don't have time to do this, I don't have the energy to do this. It's because you're completely ruining your tomorrow the day of. Like, you have to set yourself up for the next day. So for example, shut the TV off, set a bedtime, wake up early, get some crap done in the morning, whether it's your workout, meal prep, pack your bag, whatever. That way it relieves that stress. You're gonna have more energy throughout the day. So that solves your energy problem, it solves your time problem, and you can pretty much get rid of all the excuses right there. So just developing a routine, and that's another healthy habit, is really going to be something that can help you get past those problems and obstacles, I guess. Good? So I think that's pretty much it for today. Again, topic is just not complaining about things you're capable of fixing. So think about some things that you might complain about, or maybe ask somebody close to you, hey, what do I complain about a lot? Because you might not realize how often and how many things that you complain about on a daily basis. And I am one of those people. Like, this is something I just learned, and I'm like, wow, there's definitely a lot of things that I can probably fix or stop complaining about that are completely out of our control. One being, our country right now. Like, there's a lot of crap going on that we have no control over. We could probably stop complaining about it and letting it ruin our lives for the time being. There's not a whole lot we can do about all the things with COVID and stuff, but we just gotta learn how to get past it. Luckily, it's getting a little better, but there are things that you can focus on yourself right now than just focusing on everything outside of our control. So that's just another thing that I do want to say. Start thinking about things. What's out of my control that I shouldn't worry about? What is in my control that I can try to fix right now? And then come up with a game plan to fix it. And start small. Get some easy obstacles and problems out of the way, and it'll be like a snowball, and you'll just continue rolling and knocking out all the other obstacles and problems. So hopefully this helps you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. You can also follow us on all of our social media, so our Facebook and Instagram, Taylor Hutchinson Fitness. If you need help putting together a plan to start your health and fitness journey, feel free to reach out. You can get a hold of us on social media, or stop up, call, or just leave a comment in the section below, and we'll get a hold of you guys and be happy to put a plan together. Until then, stay healthy and practice some of these techniques and tips that we give you. See you later, guys. Bye.